Helicopter approaching for a buzz, helicopter approaching for a buzz. Psychological warfare for uploading reptilian shapeshifters direct overhead. Direct overhead, here he goes. Your taxes for psychological warfare, holograms and/or real helicopters. For uploading reptilian shapeshifter movies to YouTube, exposing the serpents from the Garden of Eden. See how once he passed over, he turns off? Notice that? Here's our location. Khalifa and Canoga. Direct overhead, psychological warfare.
In 1933, a man by the name of G. Warren Shufeldt, a mining engineer from Los Angeles, California, had a bold claim to make. He had invented a revolutionary new device that could survey underground for valuable resources like oil, gold, and even subterranean cave and cavern systems. He called it the radio X-ray machine, and it was unlike anything anyone had ever seen before. The machine looked like a pendulum suspended in a cylindrical glass case, which was placed inside a black box. Claimed that his machine had already discovered a vast, extensive network of underground tunnels and chambers beneath that very city of Los Angeles, which he believed belonged to house ancient secrets and potentially tons of treasure and artifacts. It was then that Shufeldt, a curious man with a passion for exploration, began his quest for gold and other valuable treasures in the bustling city of LA. Armed with the mysterious device that he believed could detect precious materials, he combed through various parts of the city, hoping to strike it rich. He ventured beneath the heart of downtown Los Angeles, and he stumbled upon something truly remarkable. As he scanned the area with his device, he was astounded to find readings of a vast underground tunnel system stretching all the way from Mount Washington to Santa Monica Bay. What's more, the tunnels were not simply haphazardly arranged, but were meticulously and thoughtfully structured, complete with various rooms and large chambers of all kinds. Shufeldt estimated that this vast labyrinth was large enough to comfortably house at least 5,000 people, if not more. But that wasn't even the most exciting part. Shufeldt continued to explore and see, and he picked up on readings that indicated the presence of large amounts of gold hidden below in these passageways. Incredibly intrigued by this discovery, he set out to create a secret map of this now newfound underground world and began to try and make sense of what he had found. But he was still unsure of why there was a large labyrinth underneath Los Angeles.
Do you know who eats crickets, by the way? Reptiles. I've got a lizard at home. It's a chameleon. He eats crickets all the time. That's the only thing we feed him. We feed our reptile crickets. So why are these people at World Economic Forum trying to feed you crickets? Is it because they're reptiles?
Please know that what I am going to tell you now is very difficult for me. I was tortured beyond imagining, so I would never speak of what I saw. The Queen and Prince Philip are not human.
No.
I have been mocked, I've been laughed at, I've been attacked, I've been through every single thing you can imagine by trying to get this truth out there. I couldn't give a flying fuck what you react like. I am going to tell you the truth.
Yes!
They are reptilians. They shapeshift from human form into lizard form. I saw this with my own eyes many, many times. And trust me when I tell you, they are the most evil creatures that you could possibly imagine on this planet.
But then John Kerry went further. What we're doing today, he said, in saving the planet is almost, quote, extraterrestrial. In other words, if you ever suspected these people are freaking aliens, it turns out you're right. They are.
It's a swarm of pigeons. It's a swarm of pigeons. Right, so I'm in my old parking spot, got a greeting buzz coming up here. You shine the light right here. Here we go, your taxes for Los Angeles Police Department vehicles to gangstalk harassed for uploading reptilian shapeshifter movies to YouTube. That's right, this is about non-humans being uploaded to YouTube for public consumption to see that we have non-humans living among us. That was the only thing in my channel. Why would they buzz me 24/7 using Los Angeles Police Department helicopters if it was over nothing?
Send in the Reptilian sidewalk.
Last night, this guy where I had my RV parked came by. I said, hello? And then a little while later, I knew it was trouble, you know. A little while later, he comes by, hello? And it was a guy who lived right there, you know. And you know, pretty much right in front of his house. And basically, that signaled, boop, he's pissed that I'm parked there. So, in reality, no one wants a homeless mobile parked in front of their house. So he knew I was in there. I didn't answer. I just waited for him to go away because my experience with answering is not good. And since they can't tell if I'm in there because I had the windows blacked out, I just waited for him to go away. But in any case, so I hightailed it out of there. Right now, I'm walking back to go get the car. See that person sleeping there? It's rough stuff, man. Oh, they're doing the clean out. I think they're, oh no, it's just the DWP. Yeah, oh, by the way, further up here, in case you didn't know, up here on the same street, which is Van Owen, across the street from the mall, there was a bunch of homeless tents like this, and they're all burned up, like somebody firebombed them for like about 50 feet or 60 feet worth of homeless tents. It was all burned up. Yeah, so such is life living on the street, and the reality is no one wants the homeless mobile parked in front of their house, you know, so I understand. I knew the guy was pissed, he had enough, and really that means that, you know, my tactic is wrong. I've got to move it around more often. I like to leave it in one place because it's kind of convenient, you know, to drive the car back, which is why I may have to like consolidate into one vehicle, get rid of the RV and the Jeep and get like a van and have an all-in-one. But like I said, that's dangerous too because you lose that and you've got no place to store your stuff. That's why I like to have two vehicles. Actually, ideally now, two RVs in some ways because of the insurance, because that coming up with $1,000 for the insurance can be a little bit tough for me, as you guys know. But yeah, so but that's just what lead into what I wanted to talk about, which is that I had a dream last night that I was in hell. I hope it doesn't mean I'm going there, but yeah, I had a dream last night that I went to, while I was in the dream, I don't know if I particularly had in my mind that it was hell, because it wasn't like I was in the lake of fire burning, but there was a part where I was burning, and then because it was like this, it was kind of like this weird reality. It wasn't like you know, hell with the dirt on the side, you know, and the lake of fire. It was just like this. You ever seen that anime Dorihadoro? It had this lizard guy's face. That's why I was interested in it. I got it. You can get the cheaper version on eBay if you're interested. Dorihadoro, and it features this lizard-faced guy who actually, the mystery isn't really necessarily solved. Well, it is, but it doesn't really explain it fully. But it's the magic of this one sorcerer that did it to him. But in any case, in that anime, there's like this world called Hole where these people live, and it's kind of nightmarish, you know. Everybody's like, you know, affected by magic, and there's all this weird stuff and devils and all this weird crap going on. So it was kind of like that, kind of like this weird world where like everything was kind of weird. It was like a weird, evil boarding school kind of situation that I was in, and in this one room I came up to, I could see that there were these people suffering all this weird stuff, like this guy with his flesh hanging off, and he was going, ugh! And it was just like just basically a skeleton with flesh and stuff hanging off. He's going, ugh! And then in this other thing, they put you in this thing and it starts to burn you, and then you burn up. And for some reason in the dream, I just knew that it wasn't going to hurt me, so I said okay, and I went and stood in it, and my feet started to burn. And I was wearing some sort of white, like loose fitting clothing, and like a curtain, like a white curtain, and my feet area started to burn, and it was burning. And then I don't remember what happened after that. Like it kind of switched to another scene, but and then there was like this other scenes where I was like doing stuff, and one thing I remember about it is that I guess maybe it's the testosterone causing my hair to fall out and everything. But I was feeling aggressive, kind of in that place, like whoever it was or whatever they wanted to mess with me, I was going to fight them, and and whatever it was, I'd fight them. Of course, in hell, just understand the true reality. You ain't fighting no demons. But in any case, so yeah, and it was a really dark, weird feeling dream. It was one of those dreams that I woke up in the middle of the night from, and then I went back to sleep, and the dream continued. It just went on and on, like in this weird world where all this stuff was happening. Now I wasn't sure if that person coming against me was a reproof. I immediately thought it was, and I was thinking, okay, it could be for several things today. Okay, for one thing, I went down to Little Tokyo again and had a bowl of pork soup. Like they put a couple of strips of pork in it, so I thought maybe it was. I've done that for a while, and I know that if you guys follow the New Testament, you're familiar with the New Testament, you know that Jesus said it's what comes out of a man's mouth that defiles him, not what goes in. And I really don't focus, because I know that pork is probably not something that's good to eat anyway, but just because it was the one meat basically that was forbidden, so there's got to be something wrong with it, so I don't eat it too much. But occasionally, like that ramen down there is a really good deal. You get a bowl of ramen for $10, and or I think its price has gone up like $12 now. But in any case, altogether, if you go to a sit-down restaurant, it's going to be like a lot more than that, and it's really good. It's genuine Japanese cuisine for cheap. But it could have been that. It could have been even just going down there at all. Or it could have been my prayer that evening was deficient. Like I couldn't think of what to say, and I finally just said, okay, Lord, thank you for all these things. Praise and thanks to God, amen. And I was thinking that maybe my prayer was displeasing to God, and that's what was it. That was what the reproof was. So I have to, shape up in my prayers. So I'm not sure. Altogether, I'm not sure. Or maybe it was none of the above. It was just that guy finally got sick of my ass parked in front of his house. And it's not really in front, it's kind of like in the back of this one guy's long, big yard, and then kind of a little bit partially into his, but there's trees covering it, so you really can't see. But bottom line to it is that, it's not, in other words, I picked that spot because it's like kind of like not in anybody's face. And until anybody really figures it out, no one's going to say anything. 'Cause I was there for months and never had a problem. And, but like I said, I really have to switch my strategy, because in reality, people just do not. I know if I had a house, I wouldn't want some homeless guy parked. I wouldn't even want it around the corner, to be honest. Even though having gone through what I've gone through, I wouldn't persecute somebody like that. I would let them be, as long as they were cool, not these idiots collecting trash and all this crap, like these people do. I just gotta show you real quick because it's in sight. Here's where those people got burned out, and I don't think they're going to see any of it here, but there's some trash and debris here. But along here on Van Owen, across the street from the Topanga Plaza, it was you could see all this flame on the walls there. Somebody I imagine, who knows what it was. Somebody in the neighborhood doesn't like them, and just decided to firebomb them. And man, they really did a job on it too. I don't think it was like the fire started in one area and then spread to the other. Because it was all the way down. you know, and chances are it wouldn't burn all the way down. So man, these people really got screwed. You can see the smoke and the flames on the wall. Maybe I'll show it later here if I drive by, and you can see it. But it's really rough. And then with all this rain, dude, oh man, it's a challenging, soul-trying time. Okay, yeah, here guys, this is what I'm talking about. So, I don't know if you can see this or not, this sidewalk is all black, and this area is all burned out. So you can see there's a fire right there, and that goes all the way down. So there was all a bunch of tents and stuff, and homeless crap, you know, tents and crap piled up, and you can see the ground is charred. And so it looks like somebody came by and firebombed them. And that's, yeah, look at that, man. That was a significant fire right there. They're gonna have to sandblast that sidewalk to get it clean again. But you can see it burned up all those plastic strips on that fence. Also, as people who have homes become more poor and desperate, you know, and more angry and dissatisfied in their lives, you're probably going to see more violence like this against the homeless in their area because they want to get rid of them. You know, it's their way of getting rid of you. And you know, it's understandable. You know, I'm not justifying it, but you can understand why people are pissed. So. It happens. I don't know, man. I don't know how much. Once again, I can just tell you guys, if you're thinking I'm like some kind of cool, slick hero, you know, somehow mastering homelessness, I can tell you, it's been luck, or the protection of the Lord, or you know, just a little common sense. But I mean, really. I mean, it doesn't work. I'll just tell you that straight bottom line. It doesn't work. I mean, you know, you're not. It works as far as survival. Like you can live, but you know, all it takes. Like right now, I have it parked in a high-end, kind of higher-endish area, which I could park it there on the weekends and kind of make it kind of look like, you know, I'm some guy there just, you know, for the weekend. But in reality, anybody can break in and firebomb or whatever, you know, graffiti it, break the windows. I've had people throw stuff at it before while I'm in it several times, and when I'm not in it, and also cause damage to the side. And so, you know, that's where a stealth van really comes in. If you have one of those elevated newer vans that looks kind of, you know, looks a little bit more cool, like a, you know, like somebody who has money, you know, they're not homeless or desperate or anything. No. They're just, you know, they're just parked there next to a friend's house, you know, and it doesn't stand out. But, you know, I can't afford the minimum 50 grand you need for one of those. That's like, I mean, I'd be lucky if I could fit it in for that. Me come up with 50 grand? Yeah, real likely. Just to continue a bit on the local TI meeting that I was going to go to with a gentleman that I've been talking with for a long time. Notice that I said that, you know, I think if there's a difference between the internal and the non-internal. That was the first thought that came to me. But let me just be clear. I don't want to say who he is to embarrass him, but and he didn't do anything wrong. Well, okay, a little bit, but I'm not going to talk about that either. There's a few. I'll just say there was a few things that made me pause in particular, which is why I canceled going to the meeting. Okay, yeah, I gotta say why, because it's kind of important, and I think it's educational. So there was a lot of rain, and in order to meet the guy, I had to drive downtown, which is a longer drive. And I could tell from our conversations he wanted to meet in person rather than talk on the phone. So, you know, and I was cool because, you know, in the TI situation, you're worried about a lot of stuff. So I could kind of understand it. But then there was a lot of rain, and it's really trafficy when it gets raining. I didn't want to go down there in the rain, so I said, "Hey man, can we just talk on the phone?" And he didn't answer. I could tell, you know, like that wasn't okay with him. You know, he didn't want to do that for whatever reason. I don't know what it was. You know, maybe he thought that there was something, like he just needed to see me face to face or something like that, because maybe I would judge him if I talked with him over the phone, because maybe his English is a little bit broken, but whatever it was, I don't know what it was now, because I couldn't find out, and he wasn't forthcoming and talking about that. But when that came up, and I realized that under that situation, because we had the meeting coming up in a week, and it wasn't worth it to meet just a few days before, and why not just talk on the phone? So when the gentleman didn't answer when I asked if we could just talk on the phone because of the rain and the traffic and everything, I realized that, and also, by the way, I should say I think I mentioned this before, I had several bad feelings about it, like a bad premonition about it. So that combined with the fact that I got suspicious, not speaking anything against him, I just, for whatever reason, like maybe, I wouldn't be able to work with him if he was someone that couldn't just tell me, hey, all right, fine, let's just talk on the phone, or whatever, or sorry, I have a little problem, I need to meet you in person, let me explain why. And furthermore, he had a whole list of TIs that he's going to have at this meeting, and he didn't have there wasn't at least I didn't get or he didn't send it to me, and I tried to ask him about, what's your meeting plan, okay, so everybody meets and, tells their targeting story or whatever, and what are we going to do? Is there a kind of a mission subject? Is what we're trying to do here is to expose it. So we're trying to make good videos or something. I was like making suggestions. But even after I made some suggestions, which he said my suggestions were good, but I didn't hear anything coherent back from him about what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, because if everybody just showing up, okay, fine, maybe something will develop, and that's great, just do it spontaneous. But most people understand that if you go without a plan, you can lose track of everything. And so what I began to think, unfortunately, was that he wasn't coherent, and this is one of the problems with a lot of the people that that you would otherwise they like you, they want to connect, they want to do something, but they're not coherent. They're as the scripture says, they cannot render a reason. And again, this is not to say that they're stupid. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they just don't have the ability to communicate and to put together a plan and to have a coherent strategy, and something that you can work with, no matter what. Even if you're fellow TIs, if you can't work with them, then you can't do business. You can't get anything done. So if he said, okay, our strategy is to, we're trying to combat this one legal aspect of it, or, we're trying to bring awareness to this one type of targeting or electronic weapons harassment or something like that, to have some kind of coherent, plan or something he's going to do, besides everybody just get together and go, oh, we're all TIs, then it's, to me, that's, I wouldn't fit in that group. I wouldn't feel comfortable. That was the main feeling I think that I got. Not that I was worried I was going to get hurt or assassinated by some reptoid or something like that. It was that. It was just, I wouldn't fit in there, because I'd be kind of like, okay, so are we going to, what's our plan? What's the plan? Like Mel Gibson said in Beyond Thunderdome when they broke out of that thing. He's like yelling at the guy, all right, so we got out. What's the plan? The guy turns over and goes, plan? There ain't no plan. So, it's kind of like that. But again, to me, I'm, it's just different speeds, I mean, and by the way, I wish them luck, and they may accomplish great things. I hope they do. I hope they do, but given that the information that I had and the feeling and the lack of communication of a coherent, plan or strategy or something, and a reason why we couldn't talk on the phone, I said, oh, okay, I got to pass on that one. And I'm sorry. It's an opportunity missed. I could, get together, but I thought about that, and I reiterated it in my mind clearly. No, that's not my problem. You have to be able to, if you can't answer a question or say, okay, there's some reason why we can't talk on the phone, like I'm worried of a security risk. I mean, if he explained to me, I'm worried about a security risk, blah, blah, blah. I try to explain to him, these people, they don't need to track your, of course they're tracking all of your phone calls and emails and everything, but they don't need an electronic device to know everything you're saying. Okay, they can hear all your conversations through demonic indwelling, remote viewing, satellite stuff, whatever. So the demons can inform the other people that are on the, you know, the Gangstalking program, you know, the military. They all serve Satan, so they all have to do what Satan says, and they can all coordinate them and with the demons, but they're under certain laws. They can't tell them that they're demons that gave them the information. But you know, some guy gave them the information, call them up. Okay, yeah, we got to you know, target them this way. Go there and do this and that. You know, but so in other words, there's no hiding. If you think you're going to hide, you know, you think if you leave your phone in your car, they're not going to know what you were saying. Okay, you think if you you know, cover up the thing on the little camera on your computer, they can't see you. That's not my feeling about it. My feeling is they can see and hear you no matter where you are. And not only that, they can actually see many of your thoughts. Maybe not all of them, but many of them. I can tell you firsthand, they have thought reading technology because they buzz me upon certain thoughts. But it's not like somebody's sitting behind a desk and goes, oh, okay, it's having this thought. Okay, let's roll out a helicopter hologram. Okay, no, it's an AI, as this one brilliant physics major was saying in his movie, which I uploaded. He called it MOGS, Machine Operated Gangstalking. He figured it out. It was a machine that was behind it, because you could figure it out the way it reacts. It's so procedural. It's not like, you know, human trial and error or Reptoid trial and error. They have an AI hooked up to it, you know, because it's you know, a computer can beat you in chess every time. So they figured, okay, when we're having a strategy against somebody, you know, for this gang stalking, we're trying to destroy them, you hook up an AI to it, and it handles all the work for you in a you know, perfect way. Eventually, you know, you'll drive them insane or piss them off so bad that they'll commit a crime or something else, you know, and they got you. They're rid of you, you know, if they can't kill you, which they tried in my case 3 times, but found out the hard way with some people biting the dust. Even reptoids biting the dust to find out that they could kill me so they can do everything else. Air stalking mainly in my case, but also directed energy weapons too. I don't get the burning, luckily, but I do get sickness, I can tell you that. If you're watching this, it's not too late. Say this prayer now. Father in heaven, please save my soul by the work of your Son Jesus on the cross, and show me your pure words in the authorized King James Bible.
This is a war on religion. This is a war on the children. They get go with the sickness. This is a war on tradition. This is a war on religion. This is a war on the children. They get go with the sickness.
The national toll per year is in the thousands every year. Kids die violently because of this.
The kind of individuals involved are down the line, almost in every instance in the cases I've investigated, men who are very powerful, usually very wealthy, and usually administrate control over a large number of people.
And I remember, I'll swear on a stack of Bibles, I remember a lizard man in that office.